Oh, I'm so glad to be here. Okay, I have a very important analogy to make. Potty training, personal financial management. You get it? No? Okay, I promise I will make the connection. Parents have to teach their kids to be potty trained, right? I mean, they have an obligation to train their kids to go to the bathroom in the toilet. And they take this obligation very seriously, right? They get books, and they learn about it, and they talk to their friends about it, and they make a plan. They get a special chair. It's a really big deal, potty training. And mainly because it's a life skill, right? It is a skill that is essential throughout your life. Now, essential skills are things that parents have to help us with, right? They have to take an active role, like with potty training, in our learning where to poop, right? So now, by a show of hands, how many people in the room have taught their children or were taught by their parents about compound interest? Wow, good for you. A couple, we have a couple. Well, okay, so I'm gonna make the connection now. Parents know that potty training is a fundamental life skill, and they are fully prepared and willing to teach their kids not to poop in their pants, right? Parents also know that money management is a fundamental life skill, and most are totally unprepared to teach their kids how not to take a financial dump, right? Now, parents spend a lot of time and energy and other resources teaching their kids these skills that they know are essential for their well-being throughout their lives. But money is not one of those things. Parents are not teaching and training their kids how to be financially capable adults. They're not showing their kids how to be in right relationships with their money. The level of financial illiteracy in this country today, especially among young people, is still staggeringly high. And I know because I teach young people personal financial management. I teach them the skills that are necessary that go along with being a financially capable person. Now, I know that when you're learning these skills, the teaching and the training has to be consistent, it has to be practiced, there has to be a lot of support, and you have to be able to use those skills over and over again. I know that what I teach has an impact because I see it. And I also know that mastery does not come from sitting in a classroom or reading books. Those things are very helpful, but the truth is that in addition to those things, kids have the greatest chance of becoming financially secure and savvy if they learn about money at home from their parents. And parents are not getting it. This year, ING, you know, the big orange internet bank, they did a study this year, and they surveyed moms and dads across the country about personal finance. And the survey showed that parents were more prepared and willing to talk to their kids about drugs and alcohol and sex and dating than they were about money. There was another really big study that got done, really fascinating, by Procter & Gamble. They surveyed over 300,000 moms across the country, and the focus was teenage spending habits. And when the moms got asked, what is the level of financial savvy of your children right now? More than half of them couldn't answer because they didn't know. Half of them said that they had never had a focused conversation with their kids about money. A third of them said that the topic of money was actually really uncomfortable for them. And a quarter of them said that they knew that financial management was something that should get discussed in the home, but they don't do it. Now, when I was looking at these statistics about moms, I started to think about my own mom and what impact she had on my life. And I just want to preface this by saying that I love my mom, and she did an awesome job. And she just didn't understand how important it was to teach about money. So when I thought about this, I closed my eyes and I got this image of my mom. And she's beautiful, and she has really long fingers like I do, and she wore awesome long red fingernails. And I had this image of her reaching into her purse and pulling out this big, beautiful brown leather case. And she'd open it with those long red fingernails. And the case was filled with credit cards. And I'm telling you, when I had that vision, I remember really clearly at 10 years old that I could not wait to be a grown-up so that I could have credit cards and awesome red fingernails. And that was really the extent of the financial education that went on in my house, right? So at 21 years old, I had a full set of acrylic nails and $12,000 in credit card debt. And it sucked. And it was painful, and it was shameful, and I do really wish that my mom and my dad had talked to me about money. And I can tell you, of all the research that I've done and all the people that I've talked to, the number one thing that people say to me is, I wish that my parents or someone had told me these things that you're teaching people when I was younger. Number one. So, you know, the question that I have, or just the urging that I have, is for the ladies out there who raise kids, or if you have daughters who raise children, to become the someone in your kids' lives that talk to them about money. If you're doing it already, that is awesome. Keep doing it. And if you're not, because you feel unprepared or you don't know how, learn. In fact, even better, learn with your kids. There is just an enormous amount of information available 24/7 now about personal finance for all ages. Invite kids in, right? Share with them the things about money that you think are not meant to be shared with kids. It's not true. It's how they learn. I got that stuff from my mom just by watching her, right? So invite them in. Young people are curious about money. They want to know how it works. And ladies, this is definitely a gift that you can give to your kids. Thank you very much.